Holla. I don't think I need my headphones really. I'll eventually need them, just not right now. Yeah, I don't need them right now. It's all good. There's nothing incriminating up here that I'm looking at. Nothing immediately, at least. I might see there might be a flash or something. It's like whatever. But hey, we gotta yell at Nintendo a little bit more. So that's great. Um, information came out yesterday in regards to the Power World Pokemon or Pocket Pair Pokemon Company lawsuit. Actually, is it Pokemon Company or is it Nintendo that's actually like pulling all this goofy shit? Let me see. Uh, I like how you can still see my fucking cursor. Um, let's see. Pocket Pair V. Is it Nintendo? I think it's Nintendo. Core issue between Pocket Pair and Nintendo revolves around patent infringement. Blah 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 blah. Uh, let's see. Pocket Pair v Nintendo lawsuit. Lawsuit. Stop giving me the fucking AI responses, please. Just give me the loss. Give me the juicy details. Know what I mean? Um, I don't want updates. I want the actual legal documents. That'd be pretty cool. We can read some stuff and break some shit down. It'd be really nice. What's going on, Devastator? I'm Bro Grim. What's popping? Welcome in. We're gonna be yelling at Nintendo as soon as I find out where the fuck these fucking court documents are. Which would have been smart of me to kind of like find them prior to this, but I initially thought to myself, I'll just read the fucking, the tweet and then we'll go from there. Now I want to see some actual details now all of a sudden. Blah, 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 blah. Let me do this. Lawsuit documents. I hate AI sometimes. Sometimes. Don't give me your response. Just pull up the documents. Oh, this don't do shit for me. Let me see. Yeah, this don't do much of shit for me. Because this is from September 19th. This is when they first filed for the shit, the injunction. Nintendo Company Ltd. HQ Kyoto, Minamiku, Japan. Representative Director and President Shuntaro Furukawa. Fuck that guy. Nintendo hereafter, together with the Pokemon Company, filed a patent infringement lawsuit in the Tokyo Tokyo District Court against Pocket Pair Inc. HQ 2-10-2. Higashi. Give me a second. Higashigo Tanda. That sounds about right. Higashigo Tanda. Shinagawa Tokyo, defendant hereafter. On September 18, 2024, lawsuit seeks an injunction against infringement and compensation for damages on the grounds that Pal World, a game developed and released by the defendant, infringes multiple patent rights. Nintendo will continue to take necessary actions against any infringement of its IP rights, including the Nintendo brand itself, to protect the the IPs it has worked hard to establish over the years. This doesn't tell me anything though. It'd be nice, see, because I'm looking up all this other extra shit. You want to go to Reddit and find it? No. What's going on, Jacoby? Assassin's Creed should sue Nintendo for stealing the tower mechanic and Breath of the Wild. Fuck Nintendo, greedy ass company. Exactly. We're gonna play this game. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, I kind of want to get into it like later after we cover the fucking the tweet, but oh god, I don't want to click on The Verge. Does this do it? Okay. This is from November 8th last year. I'm trying to, because I know Pocket Pair also put out a response. They gave a counter argument probably a couple weeks back. Excuse me. I want to say like before I got married. So probably like early April is when they put that out. As announced on September 19th, this is going a little bit back from Nintendo shit. Actually, no, it's the same time. Pokemon Company, that fucking E. Why is it like not? It's not bold like the rest of it. Don't matter. Pokemon Company and Nintendo Company Ltd. hereinafter referred to as the plaintiffs have filed a patent infringement lawsuit against us. We have received inquiries from various media outlets regarding the lawsuit. The status of the lawsuit would like to report details of current status. It's the case that follows. The details of the lawsuit. The plaintiffs claim that Palworld released by us on January 19th, 2024 infringes upon the following 3 patents held by the plaintiffs and are seeking an injunction against the game and compensation for a portion of damages incurred between the date of registration, the patents, and date of filing this lawsuit. Now, the damages incurred, I shit you not. It's any average man's salary. Actually, it's a little bit more than any average man's salary. It's like fucking 60 something dollars. It's some petty ass fucking shit. Like, it's stupid how little damages have happened. I get it, damages regardless. But the fact of the matter still stands that the biggest brand in fucking entertainment is petty enough to just be like, hey, no, give us back our chump change. Like, that's crazy to me. Fucking crazy. Nonetheless, target patent number 7545191. Patent application July 30th, 2024. Patent registration date August 27th, 2024. And I think I might have to look those up. Yeah, I'd have to look those up. 7493117. Patent application. These basically all happen after the release of Palworld. Is when they apply them. Summary of the claim: an injunction against Palworld, payment of 5 million yen plus late payment damages to the Pokemon Company. Again, they do it the. I think it might be the shit there. Payment of 5 million yen plus late payment damages to Nintendo. Actually, let me confirm that there. JPY to USD. What was that? 5 million. 5 million yen. Is that 50 or 500? There we go. So yeah, there it is. It's legitimately, bro. It's $34,272.87. They are suing for one person's salary in America. That's fucking insane to me. Could not the fuck be me. This shit's stupid as hell, dog. Stupid as hell. They're that pissed. Y'all that hung up for cash. Y'all that hung, bro. I got like a couple. I got a thing full of change here. You can hear. I got a thing full of change. It might be like, I don't know, some lint in there. Probably. You can have that if you need the money that badly. I know it's not about the money, it's the principle. I'm joking here. Yeah, it's 34K, bro. 34 fucking K. These niggas so goddamn petty, bro. It's ridiculous. Fucking insane. Couldn't be me. Could not be me. payment of 5 million yen plus late payment damages, whatever that may be. We will continue to assert our position in this case through future legal proceedings. Please note that we will refrain from responding individually to inquiries regarding the case. If any matters arise that require public notice, we'll announce them on our website, etc. Next news. Is this in reference to it? Launches publishing business. Okay. What's next? Regarding the lawsuit, and this is from today. So this might actually be the full statement that's on Twitter. Yeah, this looks like the same thing because I read the tweet yesterday on Twitter. I'm getting like dog hairs and shit on my face. It's annoying me. It's annoying me. Nintendo got too much time on their dead ass, bro. 34K pride. Bro, Nintendo ain't got shit else to do right now. They're like, hey man, the Switch 2 might flop. No, it won't. Never mind. It's sold out. We still suing you for out of like our pride won't allow us to look at this and be like, what the fuck ever. It's not like we haven't, cribbed off of other people's ideas. It's not like we don't crib off of our own ideas. Know what I mean? Super Mario ain't the Super Mario has been the same shit for generations, bro. They just packaged it differently. That's all. They just shifted the shit around in the fucking grocery bag, bro. It's just called bag economy. It's bagging economy. That's all it is. The same shit, just different, just like a different packaging for it. Super Mario Odyssey is just like the only thing they really added was like, oh well, he throws a hat and takes control of whatever the hat lands on. Okay, that's not new either. It's called possession. Possession's been a thing in video games for a long time now. Not Thief, but Dishonored did that shit way before you. Like, it's not anything new. It's just new to Mario. It's fine. It's completely okay. We'll get to it. Anyway, regarding the lawsuit, changes to Power World in the future. Actually, I think I might be able to just close this other window. Which one was that? Closed. Okay. And then boom. Go back to that. Regarding the lawsuit, changes to Power World in the future. We would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for the continued support of our fans over the past few months. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. We apologize for not being able to share as much information as we would like, but we trust our fans understand how difficult it is to be fully transparent while litigation is ongoing. And that's one of the things I was actually talking with Amarada about last night. I'm okay with this not being the most public case out there. I'm fine. I don't want to play by play. Just court hearings, just essentially checkpoints. I don't want to know every single fucking gear you hit whenever you make a turn or something like that. You don't have to give me all of that. Just every checkpoint, you just give me the highlights and stuff, or you can just summarize it, whatever. I'm okay with Pocket Pair doing this. Now, if there were a case like, something that's a little more high profile, like the Rittenhouse trial or like the Depp Heard trial or something like that, Daryl Brooks, like stuff like that, I want to see that shit. That's just entertainment in general. I mean, aside from, Rittenhouse, that one was like really, really fucking important. It mattered to our Second Amendment rights. But when it comes to something like this, it's fine. It's fine. You can you can can it. Give me the canned responses and stuff like this right here. Currently, we remain involved in prolonged legal proceedings regarding alleged patent infringement. We continue to dispute these claims and assert the invalidity of the patents in question. However, we have had to make certain compromises in order to avoid disruptions to development and distribution of Power World, which again, I'm okay with. I understand sometimes you gotta in a situation like this, it's better to just navigate the waters as opposed to fight them. Because, Pocket Pair Nintendo. You know what I mean? Like it's a fucking night and day difference between like, the brand recognition. Like Pokemon is known around the fucking world. There are people who never played Pokemon in their life know about Pokemon. Haven't heard of Power World. It's just the way it is. So it makes sense. It's like, going back to, and actually they're gonna bring it up here, in this same post, that Power World had to change the way that their pals are summoned, their creatures are summoned, because the way that the way that it functioned prior was too similar to how Pokemon did theirs, which fucking stupid to me, but neither here nor there. Also, we're not gonna sit here and act like there wasn't a craze of like, of monster taming series out there during the 90s, right? Like you had Dragon Quest, obviously. You had Digimon, Monster Rancher, Beatamon, not Beatamon, Metabots, which counts. Metabots does count. Um, a Beatamon kind of counts, not in the same vein, but it kind of counts. There were a couple other ones out there too, but they're all essentially the same. They essentially have the same kind of idea. You have the human tamer with the creatures, and they go save the world. That's pretty much it. Save the land, if you will. It's just packaged differently, and that's fine. On November 30th, 2024, we released a patch, version 0.3.11 for Pal World. This patch removed the ability to summon pals by throwing pal spheres instead changed it to a static summon next to the player. Now that did rub a couple people wrong. I'm just like highlight that to keep my place. That did rub a few people the wrong way, and I thought it was a glitch at first, right? Like, cause I hadn't read it. I hadn't read the patch notes as far as like them changing the way that the pals are summoned. And I'm sitting there like aiming the pal sphere. I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna throw it over there, and they pop up right here, like next to me. I'm like, fucking all right, sure. I mean, the game still works, so I'm not that hung up about it, and that's fine. But now I know that now I know that they had to change it because Nintendo's that fucking petty. Nintendo is that fucking petty. Several other game mechanics were also changed with this patch. As many have speculated, these changes were indeed a result of ongoing litigation. That's fair. I can't really think of many other like mechanics that were really changed, I guess you can say. If anything, if not even if anything, because you know, what's that fucking Fire Emblem? Fire Emblem also has a thing where like they have the whole breeding system where you get like certain traits passed on to the offspring and stuff like that. Um, as funny as it sounds, because you're playing as humans in Fire Emblem, so it's just like, hey, you put the dude and the girl together. Know what I mean, go into some fucking parallel dimension, and like you meet their kid from the future who you then can recruit and bring to the past. Fuck timeline interferences and shit like that, right? That timeline incursions and rift like time rifts happening and shit like that, alternate dimensions, whatever, man. It all functions on the same shit. You're just kind of jumping over there, bringing them here. It's like Cable and X-Men. You know what I mean? Don't think too hard on it. Just know that Robin from Fire Emblem Awakening can wife up his friend's daughter's daughter. It sounds crazy, right? Exactly. It's that fucking crazy. um anyway, everyone here at Pocket Pair was disappointed that this adjustment had to be made, and we fully understand that many players feel the same frustration. Unfortunately, as the alternative would have led to an even greater deterioration of gameplay experience for players, exactly, sometimes it's better to, ride the current as opposed to fighting it. It was determined that this change was necessary. Furthermore, we regret to inform players that with the implementation of patch 0 version 0.5.5, I just downloaded that last night. I can't play the game unless I download the patch anyway. At least I don't know how to. I'm playing on Steam. We must make yet another compromise. From this patch onward, gliding will be performed using a glider rather than with PALs. Again, I'm okay with this. And it's primarily because I always have a glider on me anyway. Because I just have I've developed the mentality of, like, you double jump and then you glide. So I always have the double jump boots and a glider on me, even if I don't have a gliding pal on my team. It's just a natural, like, it's become a natural, like, kind of like function for me. 1-2 glide, and then I'm off. It is stupid though. I like the idea of, like, taking Gale Claw and you just do all that work. And that's actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that's some bullshit. That's some fucking bullshit. Excuse me, on Nintendo's part, because you had to put in work to get the materials to then make the items to allow you to, use a PAL to glide. So basically, Nintendo's so hard up on money. They're so fucking petty that they will inconvenience players if it means that their bottom dollar, or their dollar is not affected. Which it's fucking not, by the way. The pie, as Eric July always says, the pie is not fixed, right? For example, anybody can make a character like Isom, who has, like, super strength or super durability or something like that. Can't fly, right? Super or like super regenerative properties and stuff like that. Anybody can make a character like that, give him a different personality, a different physiology, a different costume, and put him in a different environment. That's not them cribbing off of Eric. That's just them taking something. That's them taking a concept and implementing that into what they're creating. That's why people are pissed off at Nintendo, except for, the Nintendo shills, the lead the multi-billion-dollar company alone people. Those people. Where was I? From this patch onward, gliding will be performed using a glider rather than PALs. PALs and the player's team will still provide passive buffs to gliding. Actually, I don't know why I closed the fucking. I don't know why I closed the tweet, because I was gonna go through the comments. But players will now need to have a glider in their inventory in order to glide, and I might test that out. I don't know, not on stream. I might test that out later at some point, because I actually put Power World down for multiple days. It only took me going to Vegas though. It took me being away from my computer to be able to just stop playing Power World for a while, and I'm just like, okay, I can turn it on for a little bit, and then I can turn it off. God damn, that game is addictive. But we understand that this will be disappointing for many, just as it is for us, but we hope that our fans understand that these changes are necessary in order to prevent further disruptions to the development of Power World. And from my understanding, they pretty much almost got all of their, I guess, content updates done. Almost all of them. I think they have like one more. Like, they have an end game boss. There's the world tree that's in the background, that's looming in the background. That has to be addressed at some point. So they're going to be wrapping up relatively soon, I would imagine. Cool. Then we can either do, I don't know, a Power World 2, a Power World Red and Blue version. Go fuck yourself, Nintendo. Or, like, some kind of sequel in general. Power World, it goes from Power World to, like, Pal Planet or something like that. Palland. Palland. We also want to extend our apologies to our fans, for the discomfort and concern this ongoing litigation has caused. We remain committed to developing Power World and delivering exciting new content to our fans. On behalf of everyone at Pocket Pair and Team Power World, thank you again for your continued support. So yeah, that was the latest news that they had for that. Rightfully so, pissed a lot of people off. Let me do this. Go to Twitter. I don't want to curse. I don't want to curse my stream with some shit. See, like right here, because I follow Gundam's art director, I guess you can call her, and she's got, like, not risque, but some silly shit going on her feed, and it's right there at the top of my shit. So I don't want that to just be out here cursing streams and shit. So let me pull that up, do that, and then go here. Bang. Damn it. Love OBS. Here we go. So yeah, pretty much the same response that you get from Pocket Pair on their site. I wish I could have actually pulled up the I mean, I still can technically pull up the legal documents, but or the court documents, but trying to find them is like, you know, pulling teeth apparently, because I searched different fucking avenues and they're just like, hey, go to Reddit, hey, go to Reddit, hey, go to Reddit. I'm not going to Reddit. Go fuck yourself. I treat Reddit like Kiwi Farms. So yeah, you see a couple comments here. TDS Master TDS says, "I'm glad we finally got some honesty about what's been going on. Yeah, it sucks that gliding with pals is going away, especially since I use Gale Claw as my glider basically the whole game. That's the shit that pissed me off the most. Um, I'm not entirely sure how it would affect. I think it might just be the passive trait that affects how the glide functions, and not the actual, like, you know, the stats of the pal itself. That would piss me off primarily because I put hours upon hours into breeding Gale Claw to be the fastest Gale Claw in the game so that I could clear caverns with just like a casual jump. And now Pokemon is just like, nah, that's too similar to how we use Braviary in Legends Arceus. Even though that's a game no one plays any fucking more. No, you can't do it. What in the fuck are we doing? It's like the Nemesis system all over again. It's the Nemesis system all over again. Actually, I might look up those what are those shits called? Did I close the other thing? Um did I? No, I didn't. It's still here. Power World 2 Extra Pal. Hey Yoshi, what's going on? What's going on, Zero Dozer? Welcome in. Nami, welcome in. Let's see. I think it was this one. Was the one I was just clicking on? Yeah. See, I'm gonna go back to the infringement lawsuits. Let's look up those patents real quick. Let's see. Patent. If I can spell. Patent number. What was that again? 7545191. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Cool. We can pull this shit up. Perfect. Perfect. Sorry for blowing out eardrums. Now this is all in Japanese, and I have Google Translate on my phone. It's got the little fucking camera, so it can, like, you know, it can like immediately translate. I'm gonna see what the hell that is actually, because now I'm curious. Google Trans. Late translate. Japanese to English. Turn on the camera there. That says. So you got. Oh, okay. Figure 22. Let me see if I can move the cursor here. Can I? Oh, yeah, that works too. Let's do that. Where is it? Figure 22. And it says start, initial settings, get operation data, boss battle event, use item. If you say yes, item usage process. You say no, character usage. You say yes, first character usage process. You say no, and other processing. Bunch of basically the process of using items, I guess. Boss item usage process. Use Karauta. Was that character? Oh, character usage, yeah. Character usage, second character usage process, other processing. I'm assuming character usage is like your end. Second character usage would be the opponent. I'm under the assumption, at least. I'm gonna read through it in a second. Character movement processing, display control processing, game over, and end is what that all is. Now, some of those words obviously they're in English, so I didn't have to read those. But that's pretty much what that whole figure is, figure 22. I closed it like a retard. Bring that back. All right, so let's see. So a game program, a game system, game device, and a game processing method are provided. That shit's so fucking small. Let's zoom in a little bit. Get my Gary on here. Terrible eyesight. Why can this thing go away? That'd be nice. Weird. Oh, it's because I keep hovering over it. Oh, the thing up here. Game program, game system, game device, and the game processing method are provided that enable a player character to perform various types of actions in the field, on a field, in a virtual space. So basically, a fucking RPG. Basically, an RP fucking G. They're trying to patent the process of playing an RPG. That's how that sounds. Wait a fucking minute. Look up patent 696969. I'll do that in a bit. Solution. In the first mode, the aiming direction within a virtual space is determined based on a second operation unit, and based on the third operation unit, the player character is caused to fire an item that affects a field character placed on the field in a virtual space in the aiming direction. In a second mode, the aiming direction is determined based on a second operation input, and based on the third operation input, the player character is caused to fire a combat character that will engage in combat in the aiming direction. That sounds like an RPG. That sounds like every RPG, to be honest. Character selects item or attack, it doesn't matter. It's action in general. RPGs, right? So player selects character, selects action for character to implement onto, target character. That's how that sounds. That's how that kind of wraps up in my head for me, at least. Classifications: controlling the output signals based on the game progress. The game progress involving additional visual information provided to the game scene, e.g., by overlay, to simulate a head-up display, a HUD, or displaying a laser sight in a shooting game using indicators, e.g., showing the condition of a game character on screen for tagging characters, objects, or locations in the game scene, e.g., displaying a circle under the character controlled by the player. Now, I think that is in reference to catch rate, right? Like, how likely are you to actually capture the target with whatever you may be using? I'm not going to sit here and claim that there are games that have never done it or that have done it before, because as far as I know, Pokemon did have that kind of feature. That was kind of like the one of the biggest crazes about Pokemon, is finding new little tricks and ways to increase the catch rate of catching a Pokemon. Like there was one that went around for a while, and it's not true. You hold down and like spam B while the Pokeball is shaking. That shit doesn't work at all. But I do know that Pokemon, that was like the craze. I never heard that being done in anything else. Like it hadn't been done in Dragon Quest. It hadn't been done in like any of the Final Fantasy games or anything like that. Right? Because like those other games is just like, you defeat them and then they either join your team or they die. And that's it. Right? There wasn't a you have to whittle its health down to like that much to increase your catch rate. That wasn't a thing. Description. That's a lot to fucking read. God damn, that's a lot to fucking read. I'm not reading all. God damn. Look how small the fucking scroll is. Oh, you can't see it. Look how small that shit is. I'm not reading all of this. Holy shit. What was the other one? Other patents? 7493117. Let's see. 7493117. They don't have the patent numbers here. Can I scroll back up? 7493117. Game program, game system, game device, and game processing method. Was that the one no, that was the one I just looked at, I think. No, it wasn't. Oops. Game device, game processing method. So yeah, this is the one I just looked at. 7493117B2. Oh, okay, that's B2. Never mind. So that's a continuation. Cool. Simulating properties, behavior, motion objects in the game world, e.g., computing tire load in a car race game using determination of contact between game characters or objects, e.g., to avoid collision between virtual racing cars. 6 more. What are these other classifications? Because that's not RPG. Strategy games, role-playing games. Let's look at this one. Method and apparatus for processing resource requests, adapting operation of a computing device based on intrinsic motivators, system and method for controlling technical processes. I'm not a game developer, so a lot of this shit sounds like a lot of mumbo jumbo to me. I'm not gonna sit here and fake the funk. I'm not sure which one of these is in reference to what is going on between Palworld and Pokemon. And that's okay. That's okay. Let's see. Computing motion of game characters with respect to other game characteristics, game objects, or elements of the game scene, e.g. for simulating the behavior of a group of virtual soldiers for pathfinding. Hold on. Oh, you know what? Let me look up 696969 as a joke here. And there actually is a 696969. That's crazy. Device intended for transporting luggage mainly on stairs. Now I'm assuming that's France, and because in US it's an electric switch. So it's a vibrator. What are the other ones? Let me see. 7528390. 752? Yeah, 7528390. Processing method, blah, 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 blah. So this is B2. Show more. No, that's something else. Ride along the field, Pokemon rides, Nintendo Cup. I guess, yeah, that works right here. Description, Article 30, Paragraph 2, the Patent Act applies. Publication date, February 27, 2021. That was before the release of Palworld. Publication address, Pokemon Co. Blah, blah, blah. Publication date, February 27th. Publication date for... Oh, okay, okay. So, yeah, you got, address for... Or it's been published on the Japan site, the Korea site, the US site, YouTube, and then the third YouTube site. So there you go. You got those three. This the present invention I can read, as you guys know. I've been reading for a bit now. Hey Star, can't you glide with monsters in Monster Hunter Wilds? Yes, you can. You can jump on a sacred and glide. That is a thing. Uh-oh, Capcom, you might have a fucking fight on your hands. Hi, Star, by the way. Welcome in. Present invention relates to a game program, game system, an information processing device, and an information processing method that enable a player character to move in a virtual space. Prior art includes games in which a player character can ride an object and move through a virtual space. Motherfucker, that shit ain't new at all. That shit is not the fuck new at all. That shit happened in games that weren't monster taming games. What in the fuck? Get out of here. Get out of here. Ride along the field with Pokemon rides online 2017 Nintendo. So some obscure ass shit that only exists for people who eat, shit, and breathe Pokemon. Searched on November 22nd, 2021. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me check this shit out. Not that. Not the whole fucking thing. I just needed the fucking this shit. What that is. What that is. This shit's in Japanese, dog. This is Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Oh. Okay, yeah. We could use, as opposed to using, because yeah, this is when they first started implementing like pals, Pokemon as like ride Pokemon, where you can actually jump on a Pokemon in the overworld and move around and stuff like that. Like they started this shit in Sun and Moon. I get what they're saying. Okay. Thanks Google. I appreciate you. Let's do that. Ride around the field on a Pokemon ride in the Alola region. Go fuck yourself. There's a means of transportation called Pokemon Ride that allows you to borrow the power of Pokemon and go to places that humans cannot reach by themselves. That actually pissed a bunch of people off, to be honest. A lot of people were pissed off that well, there were people who were happy that they didn't have to have an HM slave on the team, and then there were people that were pissed off because you just took out a major mechanic that ultimately, like, it was like you took out a mechanic that had like good purpose in battle and just kind of fucked it all up, right? I think they gave Surf like, I don't know, I think they gave it like some crazy power stat. Waterfall became like an attack that only flinches now. Fucking Defog, it became useless. Like, there's a lot of stupid shit. You call them anytime. Yep, cool. But yeah, people were pissed off about that too. Not a lot of people, I will say. Not a lot of people, but people were pissed off. I wasn't one of those people. I didn't really care. Because I had no problem implementing like HMs into some of my other Pokemon on my team. So that's what that was. Cool. In previous games like this, there was room for improvement in switching between objects to ride. Therefore, the object of the present invitation is to provide a game program, a game system, an information processing device, and an information processing method that enables smooth switching between multiple boarding objects in a game in which a player character rides and object moves around. To solve the above problems, the present invitation adopts the following configuration. Okay, yeah, that's just a bunch of extra mumbo jumbo. In all honesty, that is just a bunch of extra mumbo jumbo. I'm gonna go back to the previous one. Which one was that? This one, I think. Let's see what they're talking about here. I'm going to do a search for Pokemon specifically. Application date, application filed by Nintendo Company Ltd. Pokemon back in 2024. They filed for this shit. I think this is one of those patents. It's like a sub patent for something. This is basically a patent that already exists, but with the sub patent thing, they can specify post patent application what they mean. So essentially, they can change the rules on the fly. Is what that means. It's stupidity. Yet Nintendo doesn't have a problem with them. I don't know. I genuinely don't fucking know. I couldn't tell you. Yeah, application address or publication addresses, blah blah blah. Catching wild Pokemon online. 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's pretty much the rest of the times you see it here. So the Pokemon Company search on December 8th, blah blah blah. I'm gonna scoop that. Copy. See what that says. Or where that takes us. Holy shit, reject all. What the hell? Now, this is the Pokemon website. Pokemon RPGs 101. Setting out on an epic journey. Oh, God. And it's still Sun and Moon. Setting out on an epic journey with Pokemon partner by your side can be exciting, fulfilling, but it can also seem a bit daunting if you've not experienced an RPG before. Which is fucking insane to me because Sun and Moon is when, well, actually, it was X and Y is when Pokemon became easier than Pokemon, right? Pokemon X and Y are like baby's first steps to the baby's first steps game that is known as Pokemon Red or Pokemon Blue. So basically, they took an already easy RPG game, made it easier. But I digress. This guy will take you through the process, through the basics. Holy shit, I can read, I promise. We'll take you through the basics to get you started on your next Pokemon adventure. To begin with, RPG stands for role playing game. These fucking infantilizing ass motherfucker. I don't want to read the rest of this shit. Go fuck yourself, Pokemon. Let's look at the the shit with the shit. The things with the shit, the tweet. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I want to see some outrage. Am I biased? Yes, very biased. Go fuck yourself, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, for this one. It's very sketch what y'all doing. Yeah, chocolate milk is hitting too. But yeah, TDS continues. If this is what it takes to keep things going, I can live with it. Really appreciate you guys for being upfront with us this time. True. Like I said, like the changes that they're making in Power World, they don't affect me in the long run. I can still I can still enjoy the game as I do. The problem I have is the authority that Nintendo's trying to basically enforce upon a company that, yes, cribbed some ideas off of them, but also cribbed ideas off of a fucking swath of other games out there, right? Cribbed ideas off of Breath of the Wild, cribbed ideas off of like Ark, GTA, some other games out there that I can't think of off the top of my head immediately. But the shit that pisses me off the most is that the Pokemon Company and Nintendo are acting like they are the progenitors to monster catching. Like they're the only ones that ever thought of it. And that's what pisses me off the most. Like, they come up with this idea and now they say to like the whole world, if anybody does something similar to what we do, we will not only rain hell down on you, we will fuck your corpse to make an example out of you. And it's just like, so basically you're monopolizing a general concept. Okay. Yeah, Cassie says it too. Fuck Nintendo. Could have just gave us a decent game all these years instead of suing you for giving what people wanted. That right there exactly. Like it's not like, and I have a fan made game on my PC right now. That game's RPG mechanics infinitely better than Pokemon's, right? Because what they do is they take the RPG mechanics from like Final Fantasy, classic Final Fantasy, not the new shit. Where you have like the cooldown, you have the timer essentially before you can make your next action with whatever Pokemon you have. Then they have like side quests you can do and like other things that are implemented within the game. The story is far more engaging. It's just the only thing that they have is just like essentially the skin of Pokemon, right? You have like Eevee is the main Pokemon that you have. You can go catch other Pokemon, so on and so forth. You have corrupted Pokemon that you can go and like debug and add to your team, and there's so much more to Super Eevee Edition. That's the name of the game. Pokemon Super Eevee Edition. There's so much more to that game than there is to Scarlet and Violet combined with the DLC. Let that sink the fuck in. There's a game out there that you can play for fucking free that gives you far more than a game that you have to basically pay $120. No, because the games at retail price are $60 each. And then the DLC for each would be another $30. So that's $180. $180 retail price. You get more content from a game for free. You get more engagement for a game for free. From a game for free. And it's not even the only one, right? Like you had Ethereal Gates, which they shut down. Pokemon Insurgents, I think it was called. Pokemon Resurgence, something like that. That game, another one, Pokemon Reborn. Whatever other, like they had like some other like Cake Mon or some shit like that. I don't know if anybody used to watch the King Nappy. He just kind of fell off the face of the earth when it comes to like YouTube and internet and stuff like that. For allegations, right? There's nothing that's been proven. It's just all internet conjecture. I know words. Hold on. I'm Googling it. Conjecture. What is a conjecture? Opinion or conclusion formed on the basis of incomplete. Yes! I fucking knew it! Let's go! I'm one of the smart niggas. I'm a smart black. Let's go. Holla. I knew I graduated from high school for a reason. Nonetheless, yeah, it's just based on a bunch of internet conjecture. I can't sit here and say wholeheartedly that the King Nappy was innocent and all of that nonsense. But what I can say is that the internet judged him based on inconclusive information and feelings. I enjoyed the guy's content. He's very entertaining. He does like voices and stuff like that. Like for like characters, he played a lot of fucking like Let's Plays and Nuzlocke runs and stuff like that. But I digress. Nonetheless, what he did was he played. I learned a lot of those games from him and Shofu because they played those games. A lot of those like fan made games. So there was a lot of shit out there, and Nintendo just brought the hammer down on like a lot of them. Either that, or they just got bored with making the games, and it's kind of upsetting, right? It's kind of upsetting because I enjoyed some of those games too. Reborn got a little bit too emo for me. Like it got to a point where like now you're in an insane, you're stuck on an island in an insane asylum, and everybody's like from a broken home. Everybody's got like some kind of mental issue or some shit like that. I'm like, everybody can't be a main character. This is and I think Shofu might have put it best when he played the game. He's like, this shit's gotten stupid because it's like you're just basically you're the vehicle to everybody else's drama. And I was like, you're not wrong. Again, I digress. A lot of those games were created and a lot of them were shut down because Pokemon could not handle the idea that there were people who came up with better ideas with their own shit. Right? If Soulja Boy just went around suing everybody who started like cranking that, started doing like crank that or whatever the fuck it used to be called, or the Superman. I can't remember what it was specifically that he did, what dance it was. If he went around suing everybody for that, first off, it'd be fucking hilarious. Second, nobody would take him seriously ever at all again. Right? He wouldn't have put out another song past Crank That Soulja Boy. It's that easy. Stop hoarding the shit. The pie ain't fixed, Nintendo. You can't sit here and tell people they're not allowed to have some kind of catching device in their game for creatures. Or catching device for creatures in their game. You know what I'm trying to say. What are you doing? You already make all the money, right? You already make... Oh, God, do I have to do this again? Highest grossing brand of all time. If I could spell. Highest grossing media franchises. And I don't even have to fucking click on a link. Pokemon's right at the fucking top. Get the fuck out of here, Pokemon. Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way you're gonna sit here at the fucking top talking all this nonsense on some oh no, y'all copied us. Huh? What? Get out of here. Go suck a dick. Was that Gen Concept? I can't read that. Oh, Gen Concept. I see it right there. It's just a salute. Like, it's so fucking infuriating, bro. It makes my fucking soul itch. It makes my soul itch that the Pokemon Company, $98.9 billion over the course of 30 years. 3 decades. Almost 3 decades, I should say. So not even a full 30 years. These are the pettiest motherfuckers of all time. 98.9 billion, right? And then you look at they gross more than Star Wars. Right? They gross more than Star Wars. They gross more than Nintendo in its entirety, more than likely. Let me see. I'm gonna scroll down here. Okay, so first off, let me just make this be known. Let me let this be known. Pokemon is the only Nintendo franchise that has made more than 50 billion. It's the only Nintendo franchise that's made more than 20 billion. And let me see. Dora the Explorer, Pac-Man, Toy Story, Peanuts, Paw Patrol, Avengers, Frozen, Space Invaders, SpongeBob, Warcraft, Despicable Me, Star Trek, Street Fighter, Grand Theft Auto, Rilakuma. That's a manga. And Monster Strike. It is the only Nintendo. Hold on, let me just Google this just to be absolutely sure. Not Google, but search this. Nintendo, right? Nintendo's name only pops up 7 times in this whole thing, right? So you got 1, 2. Mario. Mario is the next highest grossing Nintendo brand at $8.75 billion. So it's not even hitting 10 yet. It's not even hitting 10 yet. And Mario's been out longer. This shit's making more money than fucking Super Sentai. That's crazy. Oh, that's it. That's it. Those are the only 2 brands from Nintendo up here on this the highest grossing franchises of all time. The Pokemon Company. The Pokemon Company makes more money than the entirety of Nintendo. Are you serious? This shit is insane, dog. It's fucking nuts to me. How the fuck are you sitting here this fucking hung up on Palworld, cribbing some ideas off you, not even touching the bottom of the fucking barrel of what Nintendo pulls in, and just going, you can't do that. What are you talking about? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why do you hate your brand? Not even your brand. Why do you hate your audience? Right? I'm pretty sure there's some leave the multi-billion dollar fucking company alone, bro. The highest fucking they make more than Avengers. The Avengers franchise. How much has the MCU made in totality? Total gross or total, yeah, gross. We'll go gross income, I guess, for the MCU. Hey, yo. The MCU in its entirety, dog, from 2008 to 2025, the MCU has made a third, only a fucking third of what the fucking Pokemon Company has made. Barely even a third. Are you fucking kidding me right now? You can't be serious. You can't be like, this is why people are pissed off at Nintendo and Pokemon. Like, right? Like, Pokemon is the Hassan to Nintendo's Dan Clancy. Like, it's that bad. It's so fucking bad that the Pokemon Company can get away with making the laziest shit in RPG history. I shit you not. There are amateurs that put more effort into their game. They're developing their games by themselves. And there's more effort put into games by amateurs. You look no further than Sun Studios, for example. Jarrell. I'm not saying that he's an amateur. I'm saying that he puts more effort with a small ass team. I'm assuming he does most of the work by himself. Actually, he does more work. He puts in more effort into his games. His characters have more personality than any of the characters in Pokemon, and that's including like gym leaders and rivals and shit like that, right? How can you sit here? You don't not only do you rest, you die and come back from the ashes within your own laurel and nothing changes. And you're this fucking petty? Is that how you stay on top? You just constantly stomp down on the small guy? Are you serious? You can't be you. Oh Lord, I'm so mad at myself for being a part of this shit, right? I contributed to some of this, to some of their big headedness, their airheadedness, if you will, um, because I bought the games from like I want to say from Diamond and Pearl going forward. I bought the games consecutively, and I did go find the previous games like through secondhand or something like that, or at conventions or some shit, and that's fine. That doesn't bother me all that much. If I do play a Pokemon game from here on out, I'm giving Nintendo none of it. They're getting none of it. You're getting none of the money that I put forth towards any Pokemon products, right? Um, I got the Pokemon manga on my shelves right there. Best but fucking leave. I'm looking for anybody that's selling that shit now. Like any fucking anybody that's just like, it's on my shelf. I don't want it anymore. I'll take it. What's that? You said the cover's ripped up? That's fine. Bring it here. Bring it here. I'll read it. Because Pokemon, and this is something I'm pretty sure a lot of people can resonate with. The way that Marvel basically told their core audience to go fuck themselves, and people like, Gary, Nerdrotic, will say something like, buy secondhand. Go to like, comic shops or something. Not comic shops, but like like essentially, different places where they don't where basically they're making like no money off of really selling the game the books and stuff like that. That's what I'm gonna do. Because I hate their business model, I guess you can say. You make more money than Mickey Mouse and you make more money than Disney. You make more money than Disney. And you're looking at these up and coming developers and going, yeah, but that's too similar to what we do, so we're going to sue you. Out of principle. It's our thing. Nintendo has not done anything, substantially great either, right? I'm not going to sit here and, act like I, again, was not a part of it all. I have a Nintendo Switch, right? This is an OLED. I bought the OLED because I genuinely thought, oh, well, the screen's going to be better. It's not much of a difference. I thought it was going to be like, a better processor because I'm retarded like that. But it's not much different. It's just a bigger screen. That's all. I don't know why people like the OLED. I like that. I like the colors, right? I like the black on white. I'm a fan of monochrome stuff. But yeah, there's nothing like the Switch. The Switch is like probably the features of the Switch are probably the most special thing about the Switch. Most people aren't using it for motion controls. Most people are using it to play their games on the go. And that's it. And it's not like that's not something you haven't been doing anyway. You had the Game Boy Advance, SP, all of the fucking in betweens for that, the 3DS, the 2DS, DSi, 3DS XL. It's not new, it's just stronger hardware. Okay, fine. But there's nothing special aside from it being, the family system, the family console. What are you doing, Nintendo? What are you doing, Pokemon Company? Why are you this like fucking hung up over a game making some millions of dollars? A literal drop in a bucket for you. What damages are you really suffering that you need to sue them for some average US salary? Like what the fuck? This shit's insane to me. Shout out to you, Tunnel to Towers Foundation, whatever you are. I don't know. Fuck Nintendo. All my homies hate Nintendo. Not all my homies hate Nintendo. Not all of them. Not yet. I have some people that are just like, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't affect how I play my games. It doesn't affect how I play my games either. It's the principle of the matter. That's how authoritarians remain authoritarians. Is there's no actual pushback to the shit. It's going to get a little bit political, but this is why I hate the government, because there was no pushback to how the government operated. So they just continue to grow and grow and grow and grow because these are things that are necessary to the average American citizen. And then it just became mainstay. Taxes were supposed to be a 2-week thing, some 100 years ago. Why are we still paying tax? If anything, we're paying more than what the fuck our forefathers fought over. A 2% tax raise. It was a 2% tax raise. And that motherfucker said, "No, fuck that." Threw the tea in the harbor. We're now paying like a good chunk of our paychecks to fund some shit that we have no actual inclusion in, only to then turn around and pay the government more to give back some of the money that they took from us the year prior. That shit's backwards as fuck. And a lot of people are okay with that. It kind of boggles my mind. There are people out there that would snitch on people about evading taxes. It's like, why? Again, that's a little bit too political for what I'm saying here, but still, the point I'm making, say it with me, pirating Pokemon games is morally correct. It's not morally correct. It's not morally correct, but I will agree in one aspect: preservation. The thing that Pokemon games do not do, the thing that the Pokemon Company will not do, unless it can earn them some chump change, or it could stomp out some level of piracy, they will not release their older games, right? Red, blue, yellow, leading all the way up to like any game that existed prior to the Switch. They will not re-release those games. I mean, they have Pokemon Puzzle Challenge or Pokemon Stadium, Pokemon Snap, I guess, on their emulator system, the Nintendo Online shit. And that's fine enough, but those aren't the games that people like give a fuck about. They're gonna have the GameCube emulator on the Switch too, which it'll eventually make its way into this house. Let's be honest. And that'll have Pokemon Coliseum, if I remember correctly. But why, in the 19,488 realms of the fuck, do you just not release those games on current consoles now? As physical media. Why not do that? It's what a lot of people are asking for. They don't do it. I don't know why, but if you decide to kind of curtail the bitch, right? Like if you decide to turn into Jack Sparrow for a brief moment, I don't know, take a trip to India from Japan in less than take a 30-minute trip to India, or 35-minute trip over to like fucking Ireland or some shit like that from America. If you decide to do some shit like that, then you're the bad guy. I disagree, because you, the actual content creator, the actual product provider, are not providing the product that people want. So there's that. Gliding with the pals, patented wild L Nintendo, L Pokemon. Double L for each of them. Patenting game mechanics kills innovation, stifles new ideas, and hurts gamers. Nintendo appears insecure and afraid to compete. Yes, correct. Again, got to reference the Nemesis system. WB came up with the Nemesis system, patented that shit, and did nothing else with it. One of the best concepts to hit video games in like fucking years, decades. And they just threw it into their Lord of the Rings games, their Mordor games. And That's it. They're not doing anything else with it. I mean, WB Interactive isn't really doing anything in general, but it's a waste. You basically took an idea and said nobody can do anything else with it. We've made our money, and now it dies. Why? Why? It's a great idea. Why not patent that shit? And not patent that shit. Why not, put that shit out there for people to use? Unreal Engine. People abuse that shit left and fucking right, but they make some of the best games out there. And didn't Clair Obscur? Wasn't Clair Obscur also on Wasn't that made with Unreal Engine 5? Fucking Power World was made with UE4, I think. I think Power World was UE4. Power World Engine. Yeah. Oh, it's UE5. Look at that. Like some of the best games out there, some of the most notable games out there were done with Unreal Engine. That's fine. Epic Engine. Epic decided, you know what? Fuck it. People, I mean, if you want to use our engine, I think they made it free, but for like, some time, or probably still, you pay a little bit of money to them and you have like, license to their shit. Why not do that? That sounds like money that can come from developers too. Sorry, I'm thinking too much. I'm very economic here. I'm trying to make some sense out of this. That's all. I don't understand how this is only a Power World thing. I can play Arc and glide or dino across the map. No way this is patented. Yeah, it's patented, apparently. Pokemon taking the biggest L for their entire existence for forcing this shit. Yeah. Can you compromise and give us back something that we want, like male, female body? I don't care about that. But we can still kidnap a boyfriend in a sphere and sell them. We're bored of them. Yeah, you can, catch, you can catch humans in Power World. Something else that people are asking for in Pokemon Sun and Moon. The main villain, I will say antagonist, Lusamine, she fuses with one of the Pokemon, and they don't give you the option to catch her because I don't know, some inhumane shit. Who fucking cares, dog? They've been talking about eating Slowpoke tail since the first generation. What are we doing here? Nintendo can't patent gliding. This is absurd. Yeah, they did it. Y'all are weird at this point. Please break this down in 2 sentences. So many people will say fuck Nintendo, but won't cancel their Switch 2 pre-order. Also true. Also true. Also fucking true. Talking out of both sides of their mouth. I don't care about that. That's another game, but I don't care about it. What's next? Nintendo patenting characters walking, locking everyone else out of making video games. How can they claim ownership over using a Palza glider? That's fundamental. That's a fundamental mechanic broad enough for countless genres to use freely. Their aggressive patenting feels like it's stifling creativity. And that seems to be the common theme here: stifling creativity. A lot of people are pissed off that creativity gets stifled when people patent concepts. It's fucking stupid. You look at Marvel and DC, for example. They have characters that do some of the same shit all over the fucking place, right? Like, a prime example would be like Sentry and Superman. The primary difference between the two of them is Sentry's not weak to kryptonite, and Superman doesn't have like a void side, like an evil side that's just absolute destruction. That's like the primary difference between the two of them. Otherwise, they do the same shit. Super speed, impervious to like almost everything, super strong, all that stuff. There's nothing super special. Look at Omni-Man, who's just basically Superman but evil. What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Nintendo? The idea of flying or gliding with an animal goes way back. 1941, The Reluctant Dragon. 1984, Never-Ending Story. Flintstones probably even had a few episodes to that effect. They probably did. Old stories of giant thunderbirds lifting off of small kids and dogs, which goes back well over a few hundred years. Yeah. Pokemon, you might have to fight Studio Ghibli as well. You ever heard of Cat Bus? fucking O. You ever heard of fucking Cat Bus? Pokemon? Nintendo? Yeah, but there's this. Shut up. Nope. Nope. You don't get to run on that. You don't get to run on that line of logic. Let's see. Nintendo Pokemon deserve all the hate they get. Funny how all Nintendo shows are quiet now. Oh yeah, I just noticed that too. Like there are no white knights here. There are no Nintendo knights. Interesting. Find a patch sometime in the future that adds some features to the game that's similar to what you're talking about here. It can be downloaded and installed on our own without the need for you to involve yourself since we're modding our games. Oh, okay. Is that's somebody asking, talking to Power World on that one? Gotcha. Didn't Assassin's Creed Revelations have a glider back in 2011? Is Nintendo going to build a time machine, go back in time? No, they can't. They can't. There are games out there that have the same concepts that both Pokemon and Power World have, but Power World's the bad ones. It's weird to me. It's fucking insane. And weird and insecure as hell, as usual. All those changes are a bit of a letdown. I'd say use this as an opportunity to make something even greater, more personality, go all out, use your imagination. That's positive. I agree. That's positive though. I'm looking for the negative. You know how we do. We're here for rage baiting and shit like that. Got it. Pokemon apparently owns throwing objects that contain creatures. Cool. That's kind of funny. Nah, this is a dangerous precedent. What's stopping a company patent holding a sword in third person? Patenting holding a sword in third person. What if Call of Duty patented holding a semi-automatic weapon in first person? Well, they can't. That's a lot of uphill fighting that Activision Blizzard would have to do. Because you got Battlefield to contend with, you got Battlefront to contend with, you got Plants vs Zombies to contend with because there's a game that uses it. You got SOCOM to contend with. You got a lot of games out there. There are a lot of games. Fucking Resident Evil. They do it now. Far Cry. A lot of games that use the first person's perspective. Sniper. The list goes the fuck on. Let's just put it that way. Isn't using a glider a copy of Nintendo Zelda? You kind of had something. You got the Cuckoos, right? If you jump using the Pegasus boots. Or no, I think the Pegasus boots were just for speeding. You had Rock's Feather. That's what it was. The Rock's Feather. Either a Rock's Cape or a Rock's Feather. Where you can jump. You're holding on to a Cuckoo and you just start gliding. Pokemon, you might have to contend with yourself. You might have to contend with Zelda. Nintendo might have to fight themselves on this one. You see how the point I'm making here is that this shit is absolutely fucking silly. It's silly. It's fucking petty, and it sets a bad precedent. This is why monopolies are bad. This is why authoritarianism is bad. All it does is just stifle creativity. It prevents people from actually reaching that goal that they want to get to because everything's consistently and constantly compared to media prior. Like when a lot of people say, "Oh, DC Universe is trying to be like the MCU." Yes, that's true. That is true. They definitely front loaded a lot of shit. And a lot of people said, "Hey, nobody's against you setting up a DC cinematic universe. Just take your time with it." But they've had like fucking Justice League, which reset shit, The Flash, which reset shit, fucking Shazam, which reset shit, and it's just they fucked themselves over with that one. But I digress. The point I'm making here is nobody is against something that is similar to something else. It's how it's packaged that really fucking matters. That's why people are pissed off at Nintendo now more than ever. Or Pokemon, I should say, now more than ever. Especially for the fact that Pokemon is not doing anything special. Pokemon, the most unique thing that Pokemon did in the last decade. When did Pokken Tournament drop? That was 2015. Yeah. A decade, last decade or so. The most unique thing that they did was Pokemon Legends Arceus. And all Pokemon Legends Arceus is a dumbed down version of Pokemon Sun and Moon, which is just a dumbed down version of the other mainline Pokemon games. You're not doing anything special. You're not doing anything new. You're just repackaging it. And then when somebody takes an idea, they take bits and pieces of different recipes and then kind of mishmash their own shit together, and not even in a perfect way, but in a way that satiates a lot of hunger. You go, no, bad. That's not good, bro. What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? How many platformers are there? That's not like an actual question. That's a rhetorical thing. There are so many fucking platformers, right? Nintendo has to take the fight not just to themselves, but also to Disney for The Lion King, Aladdin, Toy Story, the Donald Duck game, not Donald, but Scrooge McDuck game, DuckTales. I mean, the DuckTales game. They got to take the fight to Sega for Sonic. You got to take the fight to Ubisoft for Rayman, Crash Bandicoot, Rareware for Donkey Kong. This is the problem we're running into. You're taking, I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. You're taking something that can be perceived as a general concept. People recognize Pokemon for what Pokemon is, not for what Pokemon does. Nobody gives a fuck, right? Nobody looks at the catching system and goes, only Pokemon is allowed to do that. If some other video game did that, I think I'm forgetting the name of this fucking game. It's like this fucking dinosaur game. It's like fossils or some shit like that. Like you dig them out of the fucking fossils and you revive them to create like these cyber dinosaurs or some shit like that. It's not Zoids before anybody like says anything about it. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's something like that. Right? What if Skylanders went after Disney because of that fucking system they had, that setup where it's like you go and buy like the little creature keys and shit like that, and you plop it down on the NFC reader, and then you get the character in game. You can raise them, so on and so forth. What then? Why didn't Pokemon attack scanners way back when Pokemon was in its infancy and scanners was starting up? No, that fucking it's like the little fucking, you had the little handheld thing toy where you go and you scan barcodes and you find like monsters and items and shit like that. What happened, Pokemon? What happened? Why don't you not? And they had the exact same shit. It was just a method of running into the creatures and shit like that that was different. That was it. What are we doing? What in the fuck? Nonetheless, if the lawsuit gets resolved in your favor, either by invalidating them or with your use deemed non-infringing, will you be reversing those changes? That's actually an interesting idea. Would they reverse them? Because if they do, they might have to go and change some other shit because the way programming works, you can't just like if you implement one thing and then you change it later, you got to deal with some bugs and some other issues that might arise. But then after creating so much other shit, you go to put that thing back in. Does it fuck up that other shit that happened prior? That'd be interesting. I don't know. Programming problems. The term can totally sideline Nintendo, though. The team can totally sideline Nintendo, though. New mechanism for throwing Pal Spheres, Pal Grade Launcher. You do have that. You do have a launcher. Although they'll probably say something along the lines of, oh, no, that's still... It's just a device that throws a device that allows you to do the thing. It's not much different. That's a decent enough counter argument, I guess you could say. Point shoot and a cloud of enemy stunning smoke releases your pal. Huh? Oh, point shooting. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Like in the method of summoning. Totally need to see Nintendo's lawyers equate a Pokeball to flip into a flipping tube launch grenade. Gliding pals fly next to the player, providing their buffs while remaining visible. Make them fly information as their buffs stack. Interesting. That could be interesting. I'm not against that idea. Thank you for being so open about the legal battle. Everyone has known Nintendo's been one of the most greedy companies in gaming. I'll be buying Power World twice. I already did that. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. If they put Power World on the Switch, I'd buy it. I'd buy it. Delete all my Pokemon data and just play Power World. Like, go fuck yourself, Nintendo. Oh, not even Nintendo in this sense. Go fuck yourself, Pokemon, and by proxy, Nintendo. I will say. Another reason for me not to buy Switch 2. This is why I won't buy Nintendo. So you will buy Nintendo? Because that's a double negative. I hate their business practices. And with mods, we can get these mechanics back. Screw Nintendo. Yeah, a lot of people are relatively upset. Yeah, a lot of the fucking Nintendo nights are real quiet. A new summoning animation for inspiration. I kind of like that. It's kind of funny. That's great. Pokemon wasting their time on this rather than make an actual good game. It's crazy that Power World they still have Legend ZA look trash. I understand what you're saying though. I understand. Go back. I understand what you're saying. Am I glad that I'm gonna read? This is gonna be the last one. Am I glad that mods exist and this change will technically, thanks to that, be erased? This is just bullcrap. I can somewhat understand that ball throwing thing. Somewhat understand as it really is kind of iconic, but it shouldn't be at that. Turning balls into like pyramids, flasks, or whatever should already be distinct enough to be legal. But claiming to have a copyright on you can't use a pet to glide is just bullshit. There are a gazillion of games where you can glide with a pet. So it seems a lot of people understand exactly what the fuck is going on with this whole situation. A lot of people get it. It's not Miyamoto that's making these calls, all right? It's not Miyamoto that makes the calls. It's Shuntaro Furukawa and whoever's heading up Pokemon. Those are the ones that are making these calls. Otherwise, it could be something that's just easily waived. Don't Nintendo. I'm going to support a company that does. I'm not going to support a company that does this. Even though I said I was done reading, I'm still reading. At any rate, yeah, that seems to be the general consensus of what's going on here. Let me see. View quotes. I want to see what other people has anyone made memes and shit. So Nintendo owns throwing motions with Chromogenos owns motions with balls, and that's called sex, homegirl. And somehow they preposterously own the usage of creatures to fly. Okay. Sounds like the complete BS to me. Where's the freedom of creativity? This is Monopoly. It was an indie game, mind you. Patch 311. This patch removed the ability to summon pals with throwing pal spheres. Instead, changed to a static summon next to the player. Oh, I could have just clicked the fucking arrow. From this, it's a compromise basically. From this patch onward, blah 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 blah. Wish Nintendo would lose this lawsuit in their patents. Yeah, I agree. Reminder that the Ace Attorney games are actually a documentary series about how much of a batshit insane clown hell the Japanese legal system is. It really is. It's really fucking stupid. It's the dumbest shit too. Like I don't know if it's like some kind of out of respect we'll go ahead and patent this shit for you, or we'll go ahead and uphold these arbitrary patents. Why? It's fucking dumb. Hope Nintendo loses. This is absurd. A case of big guy bullying a small guy. I hope Power World devs get all the support they can deserve. That they deserve. TLDR, Nintendo's so fucking petty about another company daring to compete with them And the thing is, more times than often, Power World holds themselves as not being Pokemon with guns. That's what they didn't want to market as. They wanted to market as a game that's open world with some lore and some creatures you can catch. That's all. That's what it marketed itself as. And this is where we are. Um, Sued them to the point where they have to butcher Power World to keep the multi-billion dollar company satisfied. Nintendo's anti-consumer piece of shit company. This is true. This is true. It's not even wholeheartedly Nintendo either. Like Nintendo is definitely shitty. Like, all other um the other two giants out there, Sony and Microsoft, Xbox, PlayStation and Xbox. Just as scummy, but the difference is Nintendo has actual IPs. That's it. If only Nintendo put this much effort in making Game Freak put out a good game. Exactly. Game Freak's games are fucking lazy. What was that one game they did? Big Small Town or some shit like that? Game Freak. Was that other fucking game they did? Little Town Hero. That shit went over like a fart in a fucking wind, bro. Nobody remembers that game. See, I can't remember the name of the damn game. Little Town Hero. That shit released and nobody gave a fuck. Let me see. Little Town Hero sales. Just curious. It appears you're asking about the sales performance of the game Little Town Hero. Unfortunately, precise sales figures for Little Town Hero are difficult to come by. It's only been like, 6-ish years since the game released. There are no sales figures for the game. That says something. Here's a summary of what information is available. Difficulty in finding concrete sales data. While Little Town Hero is mentioned in relation to Nintendo Switch software sales in 2020, specific numbers are not provided. The article only notes that the game, alongside smaller games such as Little Town Hero, published software sales to 64.64 million during the holidays. That's $64.64 million. Fast math. I'm gonna do some fast math here. Bring up my calculator here. Actually, the fast math is right there. It's basically a million. That's basically a million copies because I think retail price for this bitch was like $60, or was it 50? Because I'm seeing it for 50 here on Amazon. I think that's new. Either way, it was less than a million. Or no, that math is wrong. It was a little more than a million sales. Little Town Hero was released on Nintendo Switch October 2019. Later on other platforms. Other platforms. Oh God. Oh God. It made it to everything else. Toby Fox is a part of it. That's right. That's why I wanted. That's why I was interested in the game, is because Toby Fox was a part of the music composition, and Toby Fox does some really good work, like the Undertale series, Deltarune. Ironically enough, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet has Toby Foxisms in them, and they use the Unity engine to make this game too. What else is there? The game is available for purchase on platforms like Steam and Nintendo eShop. How much is it on Steam? I'm curious. Let's see. Pal World is the first thing that pops up because I favorited that game. Store. Little Town Hero. $25 on Steam. If anybody's interested in the game that released, relatively buggy. Think I'm lying? I mean, you can go Google the shit yourself. I don't feel like I think I've done enough Googling for right now. In conclusion, while it's clear that Little Town Hero contributed to Nintendo Switch software sales during its release period, specific sales numbers remain undisclosed publicly. You can find the game available for purchase. Okay, cool. Yeah, Game Freak hasn't done shit that's like any like, you know, that's really worth it, for lack of better terms. Let's see, Game Freak, what games? CEO size, employee count. How many employees do they have? I thought it said one. 207 employees. That's a decent number. That's actually a sizable enough number to have an understanding of why the games kind of suck. Yeah, 270 and 207 employees as of March 2024 last year. Who's the CEO? Satoshi Tajiri. Still, bro. He's the CEO of Pokemon. He's the creator of Pokemon. Yes, Game Freak still owns Pokemon. But the fact of the matter, point I'm making, Game Freak sucks. Fucking hate Pokemon Nintendo, bro. Absolutely bitch made behavior. Dead ass. You can't even fucking glide in Pokemon game. You can't even fucking glide in any Pokemon game ever. Actually, you can. Braviary and Pokemon Legends Arceus. A game that released in like, what was that, 2021? That game released? I'm not looking that up. Much less fly like you can in Power World. Not buying a Switch 2, not buying more Nintendo Pokemon products. Digimon was always better anyways. The characters in Digimon definitely have far more development. Fuck Nintendo. That's it. Fuck Nintendo. Oh, even Kirsha spoke up on this. Oh, this is actual insanity. I really hope they can win the lawsuit. That's it. Say more, homegirl. Say more. Blah blah blah. Lumi spoke up on it. We clearly don't hate Nintendo enough. This is insane, and Power World has to suffer because of another company's greed and insecurity. Agree yet again. How wild is it to think that Nintendo threw away all the goodwill they earned with the 8 years of the Switch in the span of what, 9 months? Less than that. Less than that. Because the goodwill, it's a general I guess you could say misunderstanding when people say, you know, a wide amount of time like 9 months. It was less than 9 months. Because ultimately what it boiled down to was um the Nintendo Knights raising enough of a stink for Nintendo to go, we'll look into it. Which is why they only ask for like the average US salary. They only ask for they ask for the average US salary in damages and for Pocket Pair to change anything that infringes on their patents. But ultimately, the first death knell was when they filed the lawsuit. That was where they first fucked up. So in actuality, they lost all the goodwill in a day. They lost all the goodwill in a day, and all they've done from that point was just make it even harder for them to garner back that good what was it that Alistair Haken called it? He didn't call it goodwill credit. I believe he called it goodwill credit. Either way, it's goodwill. Yeah, that goodwill is kind of slipping. Now, yeah, the sales still do happen, and that's because a lot of people don't live online. I don't live online, but I am very familiar with online. I frequently take trips to online. I would like to not take as many trips to online because online depresses me a lot more than offline does. But, you know, where we are right now, Nintendo, what the fuck you doing? Active DEI against the United States President's orders by the American Nintendo branch. $70-$80 games, 90 with Breath of the Wild. And suing Pocket Pair for honestly the dumbest shit imaginable just because they thought Pokemon, the biggest franchise in the world, was at risk of an indie game. Truly something to behold. Exactly. Now, I'm not gonna make any comments on like the DEI and woke shit and stuff like that. I've done videos on that. I've done a video on Pokemon. I've actually done a long form. I'm probably gonna compile this shit and just turn it into like a long boy, a la Mauler, except my shit's way more rant and far less script. Um, I don't know. I might compile the shit into like a one whole supercut that spans for that long, and it's just me going off on Pokemon. I mean, I talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, then I talk about how they lost their way, how the Pokemon companies lost their way, and then I talk about how I'm probably not going to buy any more Pokemon games. And I've held my word to that. I haven't bought anything Pokemon aside from the manga here. I haven't bought anything Pokemon related since Scarlet and Violet. Right? The manga's good. The manga's fine. I think that shit looks kind of spectacular on my fucking shelf there. Let me get this Gorilla Ball out the way. That shit looks kind of spectacular right there on my shelf. You know what I mean? It's a complete series next to another complete series. That shit looks kind of dope. I like that. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I might do that. Put that up on my fucking YouTube, my other YouTube channel. Just a long boy. That'd be pretty cool. Gameplay patents remain the most retarded thing in the industry. It really is. It really is. Because it's gameplay. Right? It's not the concept. It's not stories. It's not, world building concepts that are being cribbed that you're going after. It's that it's a mechanic. A fucking mechanic. Right? Imagine if we lived in a world where the Nemesis system wasn't patented, and it's always the best example. Imagine if we lived in a world where the Nemesis system wasn't patented, and we just got like, some dope ass fucking games, right? Fucking Ubisoft decides to use it in Far Cry or some shit like that. That'd be fucking spectacular. That'd be dope as hell. Fucking GTA implements that shit, or Rockstar implements in GTA. Hell, Pokemon could make a game that implements that shit. And it'd be dope. Fucking dope. Here we are today. It's crazy. Fucking gameplay patents are stupid. Fucking stupid. Gameplay patents need to die. And this is from a parody account. That's even funny. What do you mean gliding on a monster is a patent infringement? I like how everybody's immediate response to that is like, bro, gliding? Fucking gliding? What? What are you doing? Huh? Weird. Fucking weird, these guys. At this point, Power was just being bullied by Nintendo because Nintendo decided that money was more important than the consumer. Kind of. I got a little pushback on that. It's so stupid. I hope Nintendo loses out on money this year from the Switch 2. They won't. Shit, the fucking pre-order's already sold out. Sorry to burst your bubble on this one, Alex. But yeah, they've already got their pre-orders locked the fuck in. And the average consumer doesn't give a fuck about this shit. I mean, it is bad, but it doesn't affect the way I play my games. So I mean, it's not that big a deal, until it affects the way you play your gameplay or the way you play your games, because Nintendo now holds the monopoly. It's pretty bad, pretty fucking bad. Couldn't be me. Been developing a special level of disdain for Nintendo this year. Yeah, the level ain't big enough, bro. It ain't big enough. You could always pirate Nintendo games. It's always morally correct. Again, I don't wholeheartedly agree, unless it's in a vein of preservation. That's the only way I'm looking at piracy as a good thing. or unless it's like, piracy against the government, because, fuck the government. And Demion says Nintendo stripping Power World of more mechanics due to their lawsuit against them. Same company responsible for the new $80-$90 USD meta, and people defend them. Still defend them. It's just awful to see. It is awful to see. I am not a fan of that. And the sad fact of the matter is, this is Power World. This is Pocket Pair versus Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. It's not just the Pokemon Company. It's Nintendo, which does get their hands just as dirty. Could have been slightly dirty. Could have been just slightly dirty. It would have been like, okay, I get it. It's the umbrella company, but the umbrella company isn't always involved in, like, legal cases like this. I see, reaction to this is so funny. Y'all mad as hell. Take the L. This game sucks. Devs are there's. So we got our first Nintendo night. Let's go. The devs are creatively and morally bankrupt. If you like the game, you deserve this. Our first Nintendo night. It took long a fucking. It took almost the whole stream. That should tell you. That should tell you how pissed off people are with Pokemon and Nintendo for this shit. Ratio that mofo. I don't know if I'm gonna ratio him, but I'm definitely responding because it's the first Nintendo night I've seen. As I haven't bought anything Nintendo since Pokemon Sapphire. God damn, that's a lot of conviction, fam. Like, if I could swear off of video games, I would, but they're too much fucking fun. If I had to give up coffee or video games, I would find an alternative for caffeine. I'm fine with that. But video games, it's my jam. They got some good stories. They got some real fun games out there. I'll still play from like the 90s and shit like that, even going back to the 80s. Like, I like games. I can't let them go. No, I mean, to be real, if The Legend of Zelda wasn't my favorite video game franchise of all time, I probably wouldn't buy a Nintendo console myself. Because, being real with you, well, there's also Sonic. Here, I'm gonna big face myself real quick. I'm not gonna take up the whole screen, but whatever. Right? If I were, we're gonna go through a little bit of a catalog here. Let's see. Yeah. So, I think I just took them out of order. There we go. So you got, of course, Advance Wars, Cadence of Hyrule, Colors Live, Chris Tales, Digimon Story, actually both games, Complete Edition, Xenoverse 2, Skyrim, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, Echoes of Wisdom, Link's Awakening, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Luigi's Mansion, Mario Kart 8, Maker, Metroid Dread is a great game, Rise, Nintendo Switch Sports, I still haven't opened yet. I mean, it's the plastic's not there, but I mean, like, I haven't played it. I haven't popped it in the Switch yet, which should tell you something. Smash Brothers, Sonic Frontiers, Sonic Origins, Sonic Shadow Generations, Sonic Superstars, Team Sonic Racing, Xenoblade 2. Put these two together, that's almost half of my fucking Nintendo hardware, Nintendo games, like physical media. If Sonic and Zelda were not two of my favorite franchises in video game history, I would not buy any Nintendo products. I'd be right up there with you, Shadow Warden. But unfortunately, the only way I'm playing Zelda games without emulating is on the Switch. or on Nintendo hardware, I should say. And not the same. I don't have the same. And it's not the same case for Sonic. I can buy the games on Steam, actually at a lower price. I might do that since I don't. I don't want to play these games on the Switch. I don't mind it. I just don't want to. I don't really have much of an itch to play the games on the Switch. That was an accidental rhyme. That was not a black thing. I promise you. I'll get back to ratioing this girl in a second, or I don't know, commenting and probably subsequently ratioing. I'll put these games back in order at some point. Here we go. I'll just sit this shit right there. Come here. Yeah. Also, Sonic games have better soundtracks than Pokemon anyway. After an hour and a half of, actually that's an unfair that'd be an unfair measure of time. After about an hour of, actually been a little over an hour. After over an hour, we'll say that after over an hour of reading through comments and quotes, I finally found the first Nintendo night. Congratulations, you get no prize, but you at least have the accolade of simping, shilling, being the progenitor. Or the shill progenitor, I guess you could say. The shill progenitor. It would be progenitor here in this case, right? Progenitor. Person or thing from which a person, animal, or plant is descended or originates an ancestor or parent. Originator, yeah. You can say that. Not really, because there have already been other Nintendo nights. Being the first. So we'll just say that. We'll just leave it at that. For the first. Congratulations. You get no prize, but at least you have the accolade of being the first. So yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. After over an hour of reading through comments and quotes, I finally found the comments and quotes on stream. I don't want to give her any fucking ammo. I finally found the first Nintendo night. Congratulations, you get no prize, but at least you have the accolade of being the first. Nintendo won't fuck you, by the way. So that's the post. I should have put an image up there like I normally do, but it is what it is. Vera, what are you saying? Vera said words. Japan's always been strict with copyright, but in my opinion, this will always be the game that game mechanics. This will always be that game mechanics shouldn't be patented. Okay, I get what she's saying. Bloober has one on dual reality gameplay, Nintendo with the Sanity system. Even look at what happened with Monolith and the Nemesis system. But yeah, there you go. Monolith. All great systems that are now shelved. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. They just don't fucking get it. Delrith. Nintendo being so freaking petty, dude. Throw a ball at thing and now glide with creature. Ubisoft's done it. Capcom's done it with Wild Sacred. Exactly. See? Right there, Star. You said it. And it wasn't even something I even factored in, too. It's like, yeah, there you go. WoW has done it. Yeah, WoW is another one that Palworld mentioned in their counter argument, actually. That WoW has features in their game that Palworld uses. Arc, etc. It's been done by dozens of games. Boo, Nintendo. Boo. Nintendo sucks now. So is Nintendo going to sue From Software as well? Yeah. Come on now. Home Skillet. I like that name, Home Skillet. Home Slice, Home Skillet Biscuit. This whole thing has me so upset that I don't even want to play Pokemon anymore. Welcome to the team. If I put, well, actually, Pokemon had me upset with their latest iteration to the fucking franchise, but I mean, the two can be related. If I put wings on something and then fly on any sort of creature that isn't a real life animal, does that touch too close to Pokemon? Like for real? Precisely that. Quee, VTuber. Black Sage, that's my boy, Black Sage. There's no justification whatsoever for Nintendo to be doing this. There's no possible way Nintendo fans can ever justify or damage control for this. Detroit Otaku. I guess he just tagged someone. But hell yeah. Look, it's the common theme here. The common theme is Nintendo. You fucked up with this one. Not Power World. Not Pocket Pair. Pokemon. God damn. I gotta get substituted for better shit. My bad, y'all. My bad to Power World. My bad to Pocket Pair. Y'all suck though, Pokemon Company, Game Freak, Nintendo. You all suck. And see, the thing is, this wouldn't even be a thing. I think the Pokemon Company, I think the brand would have made more money if their games were actually better, right? Like, and I always say this shit. Ruin Leon will disagree with me. He'll say that like the best version out there was second gen. Okay, that's subjective. Objectively, Pokemon Black and White gave you the biggest addition to the roster. They gave you the most content in game and out of game, and they also gave you the ability to play on different difficulty settings, along with a story, like a robust storyline, not a robust Delirium storyline, but a wide, big ass, girthy fucking storyline. There's a lot from Pokemon Black and White that was just great. And then they took all of that shit away within the very next generation and gave you the most basic of shit. Hey, at least you get like a little rollerblades you can attach to your shoes and fucking glide around on the ground. You don't need to use a bike. You can go in style. You can do little spins and shit. The fuck are we doing here, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? Well, oh, it's 2020 fucking 5, and this is where we are. Pokemon Company. You make the most money out of every brand that has ever existed in less time than most of the brands that have ever existed. You brought in crazy amounts of money in such a short amount of time. You are the flash in the pan, right? You are the flash in the fucking pan. There's no possible way anybody's going to take your crown anytime soon. What the fuck are you doing? How have you gotten to the point in your existence that something as simple as someone creating a company that cribs off of your idea and creates, a game that's not even complete and makes a bunch of money off of it for themselves to enjoy, by the way? How do they rustle your jimmies? How do all of the other games that have cribbed off of your ideas and made a bunch of money not piss you off, but this one specifically does? Is it the Nintendo Knights that riled you up enough to go fight for this shit? Because this is honestly the dumbest fucking fight I've ever seen in legal history. And that's saying something, right? Like I'm talking, this shit goes back to all of the stuff that I know as far as like laws and different policies that shouldn't exist. This right here is so fucking petty. You're fighting over how a game's mechanics work. A lot of people have said it already.
Patents shouldn't exist for game mechanics because it stifles creativity. I agree. If we run on the metric that these patents exist, Final Fantasy, Square Enix should be taking their fight to Sandfall because Claire Obscure Expedition 33, I can speak. Expedition 33 is eating their fucking lunch. Square Enix fucked up royally with their most recent games. And where we are right now, I don't think they'll have the means to recover because they've been fucking up left and right anyway. What was that game? The game with the chick that goes back in time or whatever. I can't even remember the name of the fucking game. The one with the girl from what was the fucking game? Holy shit. Forspoken. That's what it was. Forspoken, that shit was a fucking dud. The Marvel's Avengers game, that was a fucking dud. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, or was the first one remake? People liked it. I didn't. A lot of people had a problem with the plot. The plot ghosts were fucking stupid. Then you put out Retrograde or whatever it was, and then Rebirth. And the point I'm making here is don't fuck with something that is already good. You already have it good. You are the highest grossing brand in history. In such a short amount of time, too. You did this shit in less than my lifespan. You made the money that people covet so badly. right? Right? Like, how do you fuck that up so royally? This badly, right? Like, at least online. I can speak to people offline. I'm probably going to speak to my homeboy about this one because he probably doesn't know about it. He knows about Power World. I don't think he knows about the online issues and stuff like. I don't think he knows about the legal issues. The point I'm making is you need to grow the fuck up. Nobody's cribbing in on your money. You've made your money. You will continue to make your money. Someone making money using their own efforts is not your money. That's not how that works. That's how the government works. And I'm wholeheartedly convinced that the Pokemon Company is officially a psyop for the government horning in on video games. I'm going to end my little goofy ass fucking like low tone rant right there. I think I'm about done. I think I'm about done. This is what happens when you fail to attend your Nation of Islam meeting. Yeah, I that's fine. That's cool. I'm gonna miss more Nation of Islam meetings, and then another game's gonna come along, and then fucking Zelda's gonna sue that company, and then they're gonna fail, and some other shit. It's pretty much all the franchises I actually had an affinity to. God damn it! There goes Sonic the Hedgehog. There goes Metroid. There goes Dragon's Dogma. I'm screwed, man. I'm cooked. I'm cooked. I'm gonna get up out of here though. I think I've done it. I've reached the bottom of the fucking quotes. That's crazy. There's still a lot of quotes, right? Like I'm just not gonna refresh for more of them. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to go through. I didn't expect it to be this long of a breakdown, if you can. If you can say that. I didn't expect it to be that big. I was gonna jump right into Dragon Quest Builders, which is why you see the thumbnail. It's got Dragon Quest Builders in the back. Um, that's fine. We'll just wrap up. We'll wrap up Crumble Done with tomorrow's stream, which I will be starting again at 1:30, as I do with all my streams. 1:30 Mountain Time, which be 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. And we're pretty much at the end as it is like you get gold, right? I'm just gonna spoil it a little bit, right? You get to the you get access to gold. I've already done that. Already Goldie Rocks is already gold again. So then you just basically build out the lanterns or you build out the light boxes, put them in the pool. And then like a party happens, Medusa comes by, turns what's her name into stone, and then you fight. You go down into like this little cavern, go find some shit, come back, fight Medusa, and that's pretty much it on Crumble Done. So we can wrap all of that shit up in tomorrow's stream, and we will do so in tomorrow's stream. But until then, check out the description. I got some links down there for my Twitter, my Instagram, my manga series that I'm writing and drawing, and my Discord. And we will reconvene tomorrow on a better note, where we're not going off on Pokemon. Once again, who can't... Pokemon's become the Pokemon. Oh, god damn, it's right there in our fucking face. Pokemon's a psyop for e-girls. All right. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here before I go down a fucking rabbit hole. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Until then, you guys stay safe. It's real in these streets. Real as fuck in these streets. Much love to you all, and take it easy.